Hi, I'm Randy Robinson. This is Life Today TV. Today I have the author of the book, Unstoppable, Nick Vujicic is with me. Nick, good to have you back.
It's great to be here.
Now, as people have already noticed, you don't have arms, and I don't know if they can see under the table. You don't have legs. But on the cover of your book, you're on a surfboard.
Yeah.
I know you've also, skydived?
We've skydived.
And there's a picture of you in Egypt. I mean, you've been more places than most people. Were you not a little bit scared of being out in the water like that?
My knees were shaking a little bit, especially but skydiving is a little bit more scary than
Yeah, no, with the
surfing.
water, I mean, like, I've been out there. I know that the wave can just take you under fast.
Yeah,
You know?
I've been taken before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun.
No, it's not. But I can't imagine if you can't paddle your way. But anyway, I don't know.
The cool thing about me is that I float. I'm actually quite lighter than the average 29-year-old.
Really?
Yeah, and so with the air in my lungs, it actually keeps me buoyant. So if you see me swimming, don't make me laugh because I start sinking. It's not as funny, but yeah. And then I paddle with my little foot. So Bethany Hamilton there at Waikiki on Hawaii taught me how to surf.
Did she?
She's amazing.
And you don't have to worry about getting bit like she did. That's terrible.
No, yeah, you
Terrible
don't
thing
want
to say.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
don't worry.
I apologize.
That's going to be so funny if that's ever seen by anybody.
Seriously though, you have not let life without limbs limit your life.
Correct.
Thus all the titles. And the new one, Unstoppable. What is it about you that has said, you know what, I'm not going to look at this as a handicap, I'm going to go, I'm going to live life, and I'm going to live it to its fullest?
It was a journey that I love to share with people, to know that a couple angles. God doesn't have to change a circumstance for me to be at more full joy in Him. Whether God gives me arms and legs or not, He has given me a personal relationship with Him. He has given me eternal life. He's given me the Spirit of God that is Jesus Christ from the dead. He is Lord. He is alive. I've seen miracles. I've seen the miracles of blind people seeing, deaf people hearing. I've seen those miracles, and everyone is looking for some miracle, some break, some point in our life that we think in our itty-bitty committee in our head, thinking, if I can just get there, or if I can just have that, then I'll be happy. And I just want people to know that my joy in Jesus is unstoppable. It's not stopped or limited by my circumstance. Yeah, I still have my ups and downs. My joy in Jesus is unstoppable. It's not limited by what God gives me or what God doesn't give me. All that He's already given to me is the knowledge of who He is and how much He loves me. Mm-hmm. And to know that He's going to use me if I've just come to a point in my life to say, God, here I am. He's going to use whatever I have. And some of us are Christian. Some of us believe in God. But some of us feel like God needs to do a couple more things before we can do the and like, what is that for people? Mm-hmm. Like, is that the promotion? Is that well, one day I'm going to get married? Great, yeah. But I was fully content in Jesus before I got married. And if anyone's looking to get married just to be happy, you need to talk to some married people first. Because a circumstantial change or an addition of blessing from God, if you haven't been content and fully joyful in Jesus, you don't know the Jesus I know. It doesn't mean that everything's smooth.
Right.
It doesn't mean that I don't cry. It doesn't mean that I now got everything worked out. No, even the most strongest of us Christians and evangelists and pastors go through ups and downs and saying, hey, God, teach me through this. And that's the heart that God's looking for. Saying, God, I don't understand, but you're faithful. I'm going to follow you. I know you're gracious.
You mentioned marriage. What was it, 2010 or 11? When did you get married?
We actually got married in 2012,
in
February.
2012,
yeah.
February. Okay.
And 3 months we conceived a child, and my wife's pregnant with a boy.
So how is that going to look like? What do you think for you? I mean, it's just because I know that, well, the good news is you're not going to have to change any diapers. So.
But my wife had already talked. She said, you're going to be watching me do it.
You're going to have to watch, right? Does that come into your thought process at all?
Yeah.
You know how am I going to help raise the kid if I can't do some of the practical things?
Right. And we know that God's going to, the amazing woman of God that that He has provided me as my wife, mother of my children. She has exceedingly abundantly been more than I could ever ask, imagine, or attain. And I mean that. She's an amazing woman. And we're going to get through it, however it looks. And we have that attitude and faith, and together we'll get whatever we need to get and do whatever we need to do to get through.
Yeah, I believe it.
And that love and her commitment to me was really shown when I was crying for 2 weeks on my living room floor.
Why were you crying?
I went through a depression in December 28. I burnt out. In 2010, in December, I burnt out. Something that I had planned to get ahead in ministry, quote unquote funding, if you will. I hate asking people for money, so I tried to hire some people to do it for me. They failed. And so I thought, well, I know how to make money in the world. So I did some projects and they failed because of a cash flow crisis that came unexpectedly, and everything just collapsed. And I thought that was my only way in coming to a more balanced life. God was telling me to slow down. James Robinson was telling me last time, slow down.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that? And I'm like,
learn how to say no.
how? But how? How do you do that, right? Yeah. And so sometimes in life, you have to hurt enough before you really learn a lesson. After 1,000 speaking engagements, 4 years straight, and seeing thousands and thousands, 500,000 souls in the last 10 years say yes to Jesus Christ, when you have a good thing going and it's a God thing, it's hard to slow down.
Yeah.
And God was saying, well, just slow down. And it was a step of faith, because the less I do speaking, the less finances come in for the ministry as well. And then the less finances come in, then that limits us to what we can do and go around the world. For instance, we're doing a world tour in 2013. You need money to do that. So it's sort of a catch-22. And I just fell on my face, and my wife looked at me and she said, that's okay. I'll get a nursing job and support the both of us. And when you see that depth of love and commitment, wow, if I went through all that just to know who that woman was going to be by my side, I would go through that all over again. But now looking ahead, and kids, we have no fear. Our trust is in God. We weren't planning on having kids this early, but we are rejoicing, of course. We'd like 3 more kids, Lord willing. But it is something that, first of all, I don't know the answers to. I don't know how it looks. And even how it felt when I put my little foot on my wife's tummy to feel our son kick. I felt that kick. And I can't even describe to you what it did for me when I felt him kick. And it's just amazing. So I'm really excited. A lot of unknowns, but more exciting unknowns than anything.
It'll change your world in so many great ways.
A lot of people tell me that.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
For me, I learned more about, I think, the nature of God being a father than I did just reading about the Father or talking to other fathers. It's like, once you have your own child, it's just different. This is terrible. I confess. I'm not a big fan of other people's kids. Right?
Okay.
I mean, they're fine.
It.
They're fine.
Sure, I understand.
But I'm not going to go start a daycare.
Sure.
But my kids, it's a whole different ballgame. And that bond and that love. And then when that translates to God, and then you get into other things like discipline. You know, do you discipline your kids? Well, yeah, I love my kids, and so I discipline them.
Right.
And you go, oh, I get it, God.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
I have let my kids, I have one child, my younger son. He is the one, literally, whom you say, don't touch that stove, it's hot. He literally is the one that will wait for you to turn your back and go touch the stove. You know? And so you learn, you start to go, okay, I'm going to let him experience a little pain right there so that he'll know that my word is true, and he'll learn the consequences of disobedience, you know? And you go, oh, okay, God, that's what you were saying to me back when this happened in my life, you know? So you're about to go on another great journey.
And to see the great depth of the faithfulness of God, the more someone has experienced how long God has carried them through the valley, the more they become one with the Father and see His touch and feel His touch and experience His presence.
Yep. Yeah. Were you going to wait until you were financially ready to have children?
No.
Were you one of those guys?
Wasn't anything about
What
that.
about that? I love people that say that because I go, "You're never ready."
Exactly. No, that's totally not.
Right,
yeah.
right.
The only thing was we weren't planning on taking a kid with us to 25 countries next year.
And you're going to now?
And we're going by faith. So
Wow.
yeah.
If somebody wants to help you, because you don't like to ask, so let me ask.
Can you ask for me?
Yeah. If you want to help Nick go and reach people all around the world, lifewithoutlimbs.org. Lifewithoutlimbs.org, right there on the screen. Go make a huge donation to Nick to support him, because people show up to hear a guy with no arms and no legs. That's just a fact.
It is amazing because the majority of the people in our stadiums all around the world have no idea what it means to have a personal relationship with Jesus. Other people who go to other countries, most of them, find it difficult to bring in, well, I don't want to just preach to the people who go to church. I want to preach to the lost.
Right.
And so God's just given us a huge favor of door into government, arenas, relationships, to national TV live broadcasts, to the whole nation for free, the gospel that is preached. So
you're uniquely qualified, and not just physically, but God has prepared you in so many ways.
I'm humbled
to do that.
I'm humbled.
I'm
thankful, and we do need people to support us on a monthly basis to help us do it.
Ministry's not cheap. It's not free.
No, it's not.
Especially when it's global, like you say. So check it out. And another way you can people can help you, Nick, is if you want to help Nick, is buy his book.
Please
buy a copy for some friends. I've known Nick for a little while now, followed his ministry for a while, and I can promise you, you will be blessed. Be sure to watch Nick when he's on Life Today, lifetoday.org, and check out his website right there on the screen. Good to see you again, buddy.
Great to see you, and for anybody who's interested in what's that book, what's in that book is the details of how God brought me through my depression in 2010 to let people know that I'm not bulletproof, but I'm unstoppable in the arms of Jesus. And then the love story of how me and my wife met. So the details are in there. So
and some good pictures, some great pictures of where you've been and the things you've done. So
thank you, Randy.
Very good stuff. Thanks for being with us.